Welcome to today's edition of Ghana Politics and Ghana Political Arena. Again, my name is Kofi Lanyan. Again, I'm here to talk about Ghana politics. Today's topic is going to be about Ghana politics and Ghana educational system and the tug of war between politicians, and when they come in power, they change, new government come in, they change. So let's go. But before that, let me welcome you with today's music of the day, Kimpaluta. Listen. Okay, so that was from Kimpaluta, just to welcome you. Even if you are not a Ghanaian, welcome in, welcome. So today, I will go straight forward to today's topic. So I entitled today's topic at Ghana political system and educational system and the political tug of war, which I'll start straightforward from Ghana Web. When you go to Ghana Web, today's topic that caught my attention is why is the no fee initiative targeting only public universities? Ntim Fordjour question Mahama. But Reverend Right Ntim Fordjour questions Mahama. So let me read this so that we get the clarity of what his question is. Then we will dive into why I think we should talk about his question to Mahama. Okay. So it says, quote, a deputy minister of education, Reverend John Ntim Fordjour, has expressed concern about the National Democratic Congress flag bearer John Dramani Mahama no fee for level 100's initiative should he win the 2024 general elections. Reverend Fordjour questioned why the policy will only benefit level 100 students in public universities, excluding those in technical universities and colleges of education, which also have significant student population. Okay. The Member of Parliament for Asin South pointed out that the selective nature of the policy, which leaves out some tertiary students seeking financial aid, raises questions about the integrity. You mean the integrity of the policy, which I have a brother, my little brother is in Accra Technical University. So I'll get back to that. Speaking on the news file show on Joy News on August 17, 2024, Reverend Fordjour described the NDC's promise as a short-sighted and reactionary measure aimed at gaining political point. Public universities are just one part of the many tertiary institutions where thousands of students study. In Ghana, he meant. Their policy only target public universities. When asked about technical universities after their press conference, they were unsure. He meant when you ask NDC, or let's say NDC communicators or NDC analysts about other technical universities, they don't happen to have good answers for you. There were many divergent views expressed by the NDC on various media channels, and technical universities and colleges of education were definitely excluded from this policy. Nursing and midwifery training colleges and other tertiary institutions have also been excluded. This is not well thought out policy. This is not a well thought out policy. It is not comprehensive and does not offer any real solution. It is far-fetched and knee-jerk approach, he said. So that's what Reverend Fordjour told referring to the policy as far-fetched and knee-jerk approach. So we may dive into what that means. His comments were in response to Mahama's promise that 1,100 students in public university will not pay academic fees if he wins the 2024 general elections. The policy has faced criticism from some political analysts and members of the NPP, of course. They are the opponent, even though they are in power. Opponent to NDC, I mean, who questions its feasibility. So NPP has always questioned the feasibility. I've been monitoring it too, so I saw anything NPP concern and questions. So, end of story. So, if you are a Ghanaian, welcome. If you are not a Ghanaian, welcome. So let's talk about this question from Fordjour and to John Dramani Mahama, the current presidential candidate of NDC, who is running for 2024 general election. So I have been monitoring this election campaigns, election-related issues so far, getting ready for the 2024 general election, which will be in December, I think December 7th. So NDC last week, if you can all remember, launched the youth manifesto. And out of that, of course, they mentioned that the youth will have an opportunity to go to universities after the senior high school, which they simply mean the current senior high school student. If you are in JSS3, SS3, if you're in SS3, if you're in SS2, SS1, when you graduate, it might start from the first student who had graduated this year. I think they wrote their WASI already. So it will start from there, and then after, and every year it will follow. So for this policy, most university students will attend college right after high school without having to worry about paying for, I think, admission fees, first year hostel fees, first year school fees, which comprise of everything, SRC, all those things. So what parent might have to worry about will be to what? Buy their wards, if I say what, their kids, be girl or boy or boys, or some parent may have 2 students, 3 students going to school at the same time. So his question here, which I had said I'll come back to, do have a substance to question about. Does this policy include technical schools, which are now technical universities like Accra Poly, Takoradi Poly, Cape Coast, Does this policy include midwifery, nursing training, teacher trainings? Does this policy include all that? We do need clarification from NDC about that, myself and everybody. So we need to know if this policy only include, let's say, University of Ghana, KNUST, University of Cape Coast, and not technical universities, and not teacher training college, nursing training, midwifery, and maybe other tertiary institutions, which does not really bear the name university. So I would like to also know too, but I think Mr. Fordjour, if he's not being political, has a good question. Why is the no fee initiative targeting only public university? Does this policy target only universities? So we want NDC, we want Mahama and NDC political analysts, communicators like Sami Jamfi and others to come and clarify, or the youth wing, maybe the youth president, so to come and clarify. Does this policy of no fee as the level 100 apply to only University of Ghana's? No. Only university students and not technical universities, not teacher training, and not midwifery and nursing training. Also, if this policy does include all those other midwifery, University of technical universities, how does it go? Is it just like it will be a universal policy that address everybody's need at that level of first year, or do they have any variation? Like, okay, this is a technical school, maybe your school fees is lower than university, therefore maybe yours will be partial no fee, or are they also getting a guarantee of government grant, and they will be having complete no fee at their various tertiary institutions? So I think if you are just like me, we all want to know those questions. We need a clarification so that we get to know, does this apply to every student in any tertiary level in Ghana? My little brother is currently in Technical University of Accra, which is Accra Poly in the previous years. My little sister is also in CAF University, which is a private university, doing nursing program. So for my little sister in the private school, it's a private school. Even though she is in her first year too. I think this is her first semester. I have to pay for her fees, which I totally understand because it is a private university. I went to a private high school. I went to a private college in New York, Monroe College in New York. I do understand private universities or private high schools is a for profit. You know, their job is to educate you. You get your education, they get their money. Just like you and I can open a school today if I have money. The goal of opening that school might be to have the community have a school, but also get some financial profit from doing a business by investing some money first into starting the school, but getting back some profit back as an investor. So we need that clarification from NDC so that we will all know what this policy include. So when it does take effect, there will be no discrimination. There will be no um, second opinions. You know. Also, when this policy, if let me go back to, if NDC do wins the election, and this policy happen to come into effect, I will beg to say, I will beg NDC to please make sure that there is no middleman, right? No third party, no kululu, no brown envelope, no, it is who you know, or you have to be an NDC to be able to get into these universities in the first place if you get an admission, because this public university, the first year is now free. Now, let's get back to that. Are they going to make sure that the system still works well to the point that everybody who deserves to get an admission to any of these universities, we know, University of Ghana, University of Cape Coast, KNUST, UDS, University of Health Science, all the public universities, are the admission process and the admission acceptance rate going to get difficult to get in because the first year is going to be free? Are this acceptance rate going to be so easy that anybody that qualifies to be in a university will get admitted and be qualified for this free no fee policy? These are questions we must ask now before before, if NDC get to win the election, this might not be a question we are asking or questions we are asking when the system is already ready to accept students. Unfortunately for me, I won't have nobody going to the university from my siblings at that time, like next year. All my siblings will be in school already. But for the majority of Ghanaians, for the majority of the students who are happy, who may be voting for NDC because of this policy, are they going to have the assurance that they will be accepted into the universities of their choice, and the acceptance rate will be as high as it was supposed to be, even when we were paying the first year fee? Are they going to have the assurance that when they do apply for these universities, there won't be cut-off rate, or we can accept too many students this year because the first year is free? These are the questions we must start asking now. And we are asking in good favor of Ghanaians, so that when Ghanaians apply for these schools, there won't be no discrimination. We all know, if we have to speak the truth, if I have to speak the truth, I just came back from Ghana. I know Ghana, they will tell you, when you need something, it is who you know. Now they say it out loud in public. It is who you know. If you don't know somebody who knows somebody at an office or a department or a government agency or Ghana department where you need to do something, like, for example, a passport office or Ghana card office, it becomes difficult to apply for any social um, uh, 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 needs, like a birth certificate, passport, Ghana card. I think what's the other thing? Birth certificate. So, are we going to see a system where people are being denied admissions to the universities because the first year of university is free? Are we going to see a problem emerging from this situation where students apply for university, get there, and there's some discrepancies that, oh, your grades have not made you qualify for this program because maybe you have low grade? I'm just saying, these are just questions I'm saying, or maybe you have low grade, therefore the government grant doesn't apply to you, and therefore you have to pay out of pocket. The Kululu man, the middleman, the intermediary admission man. I'm using the word man in general. Woman, madam, who says, I can help you get admission because of your grade. I can help you get admission because your parents are not MPP. Things like this might come up. Things like this might pop up if this policy do come into play, or if this policy is being implemented without all these questions be thought of. I'm being analytical here. These questions may come in the future. Let's mark my video down. If NDC do wins the December election, implement this policy somewhere early next year, and not well thought of about questions as to who is going to implement these policies without middlemen, without any restrictions that, or your grade is not good, or you are coming from another region, maybe because you are from northern region to Accra, you have a limited anything. Is there going to be anything of this sort? Also, are we going to have a case where students who are living in Accra have higher chance of getting into a University of Ghana than students who are coming from other regions, like OT region, Volta region, Central region? Are they going to have any residency priorities? Like, if you're going to University of KNUST, because you are residents of Kumasi, you will have priority in admission first, and you have priority in getting the free, no fee getting hostels before any other student from different regions of Ghana. I'm saying this to say that, for example, when you come to America, in any state you live, they have all the universities give priorities to residents of those states. An example would be like if you are from New York, you are attending CUNY. CUNY is City University of New York. They give you residency waiver of some fees, and you even get residency school fees reduction. So, for example, I live in New York. If I were to be looking for admission to attend to CUNY now, which I went to Lehman, if my course was supposed to cost 3,000 per course, a student who is coming out of state, and you can ask me how they will know. In America, they will know. If you're coming out of state, you have to register everything with your address, your current address, and all. So a student coming from New Jersey, which is our neighbor here, a student coming from Connecticut, who is our neighbor, will have to pay more than I do, because they know that because I live in New York, definitely if I'm working or my parents are working, I'm paying tax for New York state and city already. So I do get that. Reduction of my school fees or a waiver of some fees because I'm a resident. The same applies to every state. Every state have that. Sometimes I go online to look to see a master degree program or doctorate degree program, and I see that because I'm not resident of those states, I will have to pay more. For example, I looked at University of California. They have this program I would love to do online, but I'll pay up to like 56,000 US dollars for the whole program because I'm not a resident of California. If I were a resident, I would pay only 36,000, which is great for Californians, you know. So back to Ghana. Let's make sure NDC I'm speaking to. If you are listening, if anybody from here will tell NDC, if you happen to win this election and you are putting resources together to implement this policy, please make sure. In this case, we are not even talking about John Mahama. John Mahama will just be the president. He won't be responsible for any, on-table discussions that will lead to this policy. It will be Minister of Education, his Deputy Minister of Education. It will be, like education PROs and experts in education who come down to a level of thinking, making law, restrictions, rules, and please let's make sure that these policies are well thought for, and no discriminations, no labs in it where you can have student get admission, can get the free thing, and are being asked to pay any money from corner, brown envelope. We have to make sure that this system completely does not have any back door or loop where people can go in and see, oh shoot, there's a loop here, let's use this to target students and make them pay money. If we have to speak the truth, from primary school to JSS to SS, we all know when you are going to these schools or when your kids are attending these schools, there's some form of somehow, some way, you must pay some money, which are illegal, which are, not meant for. It could be just simply saying PTA, and instead of parents being aware of this, it might be something that passes from the corner to the parent. So NDC, please make sure if this policy will be implemented, it should be implemented well by making the rules now, making or laying down all the scenarios and all the follow steps that every student will get access to this policy without there being any hole that somebody can extort student and parent money from the belief that I can get you access faster. Let's not forget about the hostels. I think the hostels will be a point where the dubious people will say, "Oh, give me some money, and then I'll get you into the hostel faster." I'm telling you, the hostels are going to be a target. You know, there's no way in Ghana people will allow students come to the campus and get the needed admission and the accommodations awarded to them by the government without paying any money. There's no way for Ghana. There will be somehow some kululu to extract or extort money from students and their parents. So let's be aware of this policy. Okay. All right. Enough of that policy. But if you all agree with me, let's think of these policies so that in the future we will be talking about the good out of it, not the bad. Now, another thing I would like to talk about before I can see if there will be anybody asking questions that I would like to answer. Another thing I want to answer today is about Cocoa Board. So the title reads, Cocoa Board in talks with cocoa traders to borrow 500 million to finance industry operations. Ghana. Let me allow the music play for you a little bit before I continue. Listen to this music. Alexa, continue the music. So baby, why never check with them? How will you move to find? Are you made in God? Oh, yeah, will be some. Why never check with them? Mama, can you tell how will you move to find? Are you made in God? Mammy, did you want to see? Baby, why am I? You say, baby, I want to go. Baby, why, baby, wouldn't see? We shall pop what I see. One put in the wooden, the guy shall pop what I see. They wouldn't see. We shall pop what I see. But I wouldn't, the guy shall pop what I see. I know. Time no deal, Baba Betty, I know. I know. Time no deal, I say, Betty, I know. Mammy, and you mutila, and you madisi. Why am I met what they did? Didn't I ever know, baby? What can they be? They are good to me, yeah. Tell me, baby. Okay, Alexa, thanks you. Let's continue, folks. So, mini animal, let's continue. So the next program, or the next on the program, is cocoa board issue. So the quote, it reads, Ghana is talking to cocoa traders to borrow 500 million US dollars to finance industry operations as it faces delay in concluding an annual syndicate loan from its usual lenders amid uncertainty over crop output. Okay. Industry regulator Ghana Cocoa Board is negotiating with bean traders, including Olam Group Limited and Berry Colbert AG, to raise at least a third of the 1.5 billion US dollars it wants to borrow, according to people familiar with the matter. Okay. The funds will serve as a bridge as it continues discussions with banks before the season. In October, the people said, the people familiar, okay, sir, declining to be identified before the information is still private. Also, the people who are speaking about it are hiding their identity. A spokesman at Berry Colbert declined to comment while that of Olam did not respond to email requests seeking comment. Cocoa Board spokesman Fifi Boafo declined to comment also. Okay, so it may be true or it may not be true. This is the second consecutive season that the world's second largest grower of the key ingredient in cocoa has turned to dealers in the bean for funding because it failed to arrange the annual syndicate loan in time. So Ghana is the world's second largest cocoa grower and producer. Then currently, Cote d'Ivoire, who is our neighbor, or Cote d'Ivoire, yeah, or Ivory Coast, is the world largest cocoa producer. Let's continue. This is the second season. Okay. The board relies on the facility to pay for seedlings, chemicals, fertilizers, and to buy beans from farmers, while the foreign exchange helps the central bank keep the nation currency stable. Currency stable. Ghana's CD is $1 to 1560 Ghana cedis, and that keep growth. It frustrates some market places is 16 cities already. I may not have it accurate, but it's up somewhere. Cocoa Board usually signs the syndicate facility in September, just before the season opens, but negotiations were complicated last year by Ghana's debt restructuring, delaying the bank loan until December. Now, listen to this part. This is the fun part. This involves some numerical figures. Okay. They forced it to borrow, December. But that also, there's a period here. But they're trying to say delay the bank loan until December. That forced it to borrow 400 million US dollars from cocoa traders in November. So Ghana government has borrowed 400 million from cocoa trader last year or last November. We are in August, September, October, November. So like in 3 months, which will be a year. Followed by another 200 million US dollars in March. So March just passed. In 2024, after lender declined to release the final tranche of the 800 million facility. 800 million. Remember, the government borrowed 400 million and then followed in March, borrowed 200 million. So that's what, 4 to 6, 600 million. When the lender were supposed to give 800 million. So they got 600 out of the 800, meaning they are missing 200 million initially they were demanding for. Ghana government. We are talking about the current government, which is MPP, Nana Baumia administration. We are talking about, okay? Banks withheld the money amid concern over the nation's cocoa revenue due to slumps in output, meaning the output wasn't evenly or pardonably great as they projected or as they want. So banks had concern, and then they said, no, we are not giving 800 million this time, US dollars, so in US dollars, which left the global market facing a shortage for the third straight year. A combination of unfavorable weather, disease, and lack of fertilizer curbed beans harvest in Ghana, and top producer Ivory Coast. Remember, I was saying Ivory Coast is the world largest producer, sending future prices earlier this year above 11,000 US dollar per ton of the first time. So 11,000 US dollar per ton for the first time, because of what? Diseases and lack of fertilizer curbed by beans harvest in Ghana. It made the prices of cocoa last year went up to 11,000 a ton. That's a lot. While Ghana expect output to recover about 40% to 700,000 tons in 2024 through 2025 year, banks are skeptical. Bloomberg reported on August 2nd, 2024. So we are in August. Today's for August 17. So what? August 17, August 2nd. So that's what? 15 days ago, Bloomberg report. The skepticism stemmed from disappointment at the crop from the past 3 years against a minimum production target of 800,000 tons. Ghana harvested 683,000 tons in 2021 through 2022, dropping to a whopping 654,000 tons in 2022 through 2023, and is heading to another decline to 501 or 501,000 tons by ending September, according to the International Cocoa Organization data. The country also has at least 250,000 tons of forward sale contracts that are yet to be fulfilled, some of which have been rolled over from the 3 years. The board planned to start this year's season a month earlier in September to safeguard stocks beans from being smuggled, the people said. So these people are still remaining anonymous or still hiding their identity to say, right? Why? Why are you hiding your identity? They are afraid of MPP government. I'm not doing NDC MPP here, but it tells you clearly if MPP is in power and cocoa, which is one of our highest commodity, there's an issue about output, and somebody would like to sound their alarm, is scared to bring their identity. Why? Why? Cocoa is one of the biggest commodity Ghana's economy relies on. You can hear the figures. I told you guys to be attentive to the figures or the numerical figures I will talk about a while ago. So that's one of the reasons why it want funding early. They said starting in September 2024, which is this year, in few weeks to come, will also allow more time to implement a new cocoa management system to ensure compliance with European Union deforestation rules, in which farmers uses special ID card, with the coordination of their farms to ensure that all beans are traced from farm gate to warehouse. I don't really believe those things. Ghana has always played with people's conscience by coming out with policies that they don't think through. When there's a problem, instead of fixing the existing problems with a solution, they always try to overthink, and then it doesn't materialize to anything. So that's the end of the reading about the cocoa issue. Now, my concern and my question is, why do we always have to play with our farmers who are supposed to get one of the high yields from their sweats, when we government, take their crops, sell it to the international market in dollars? Look, 11,000 US dollars per ton for the first time. How much of that goes to the farmer? How much of that goes to a cocoa farmer who is in Takwa, a cocoa farmer who is in Bosuntri, a cocoa farmer who is in Eastern region? How much of the 11,000 US dollars, which is a lot of money, goes to those farmers? Okay, I'll put my questions now, and I need to go for a commercial break. So before I can go for a commercial break, I will leave you to this music, and then I'll come back. So everybody listen to this music for a commercial break. Inside and watch, outside and watch, inside and watch, give me something to free, man. I'm on my way. DJ, to this on replay. Yeah, drop it and guess up on bangers and spin polluter can talk casquettes. I'm Mexican sound, I have the man. All in all, sick and Mr. Kia, Mr. Wow. Depending, look, yeah, for Mama, Mr. Wow. I am balling afraid to let you out. Yeah, shoot you now. Oh, my is champagne, campaign, they don't need cognac. After me, say, hold that. After getting older, spirit me a calm, and so come on, me a soldier. So bad. A heart, it's at a heart. I'm at a heart. Yeah. A heart, it's at a heart. I'm at a Welcome back, Ghana. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, I had to get water for my commercial break. Anyway, so let's continue our discussing and analyzing of issues in Ghana. Now, I have one more issue I saw on Twitter that I would like to address. For this case, it has something to do with MPP running mate, Napo. So for yesterday, Napo said that what's the case I want to. Napo said Mahama is old and has chosen Jane Nana as his running mate, who is also old. So Napo is referring to our current two running mates for NDC, Jane Nana Ajman, Professor Jane and John Dramani Mahama as aged or very old people, and therefore they don't deserve to run for our presidency. Now, I don't want to go into details what he said, but I'm bringing this to today's analysis because when we come of Ghana politics, we all know that Nana Akufo-Addo so far has been one of our oldest presidents we ever had. Nana Akufo-Addo is 80 years. Atta Mills was 60 something when he even passed away. JJ was young when he was running. John Mahama, of course, is young. John Kufuor, when he was in presidency, he was in his 60s and got to 70s before his tenure ended. And if we have to compare old president Ghana ever had, it is Nana Akufo-Addo. So for they not to have any policy to speak about in their campaigns and referring to John Mahama and Nana Jane as old people, I find that as, insulting to Ghanaian electorate or voters. First, let's speak about age. Nana Akufo-Addo is 80 years old now. So if we are speaking about age and old and who knows how to rule the country being old and not being too old, Nana Akufo-Addo was supposed to resign since last year when he was 79. He didn't. Also, Ghana is mimicking the US a lot. And for MPP in Ghana, they are mimicking Republicans in Ghana, in the USA. Republican current running mate, Donald J. Trump, is what, 80 something years old? Let me just be factual here. Let me ask, how old is Donald Trump? Donald Trump is 78 years old, and and MPP is mimicking Republicans in the USA. So if they have an old running mate, MPP who like to copy them shouldn't be referring to Nana Jane and John Dramani as old. Also, Nana Akufo-Addo's good friend is Nigeria's current president, Tinubu. Let me see, Nigeria president. Tinubu is believed to be excuse me, viewers, excuse me. Tinubu is believed to be 72 years old. He was born on March 29, 1952. And let's go back to Ghana President John Dramani Mahama. John Dramani Mahama is 65 years old. So what are we talking about here? John Dramani Mahama is 65 years old. So he's way older than US President Biden, I'm younger. I'm sorry, young, younger, younger than Donald Trump, younger than Biden, younger than Nana Akufo-Addo, younger than Nigeria president, and Jane Nana Opoku. So Jane Nana Opoku is 72, equally as what? Nigerian president. So you see the hypocrisy of a running mate from MPP making a mockery of his opponent, who is what? NDC running mates as old or aged people, and therefore Ghanaians should not vote for them because they are old people. That's not fair. That's not politically accurate, and that shouldn't be accepted. That's not okay. When we talk of age, Africa have one of the oldest presidents. We do. Look at Mugabe before he died. Look at uh, Uganda's current president. They are old and have been in power for many years. Some of them have been in power for 40 years, 39 years. Niger president before the military coup d'etat has been in power for over 35 years. So what are we talking about here when Napo is making reference to Jane Nana Opoku, Ajiman, and Mahama as old people, therefore Ghanaians should not vote for them? What is his analysis here? So Ghanaians, let's not do politics of the stomach where we target somebody and say, oh, because of their age, they are too old to be. If you have a policy, MPP, amen. Bring your policies out. I think Sunday, which is tomorrow, you will be launching your campaign manifesto. We are looking to hear from you. We are waiting to hear from you. Just like last week, we heard from Mahama and the youth manifesto, and also we are waiting to hear from NDC. I think they are doing it in Central Region. NDC manifesto. So we want to hear from you, MPP, what you have for Ghanaians for the next coming years. What policies you have for all the sectors of the economy, education, manufacturing, job creation, public amenities like electricity, water, do so. If I mean electricity, do so that there won't be a repeat of this. What are the policies that you're going to have for farmers? Like I was reading in my previous cocoa um, decline in cocoa production. What policies do you have for roads, construction, hospitals, the healthcare industry? What policies do you have for our mothers who are going to the hospitals to look for healthcare? What specifically do you have for our mothers who are selling in the market? Like NDC said, they are going to have is a green bank, a bank for ladies or women who can go to those or this specific bank, ask for loan for maybe like small businesses, and these banks will be able to provide for them for their specific trade, and to eliminate the discrepancies, the discrimination of going to just any bank and they will have excuse not to give their loan, to help boost their financial capital needs. So our mothers can raise capital and use this capital to what? Invest into any form of business they know. We all know Ghanaian mothers like to do a lot of business. Today I was actually speaking to a friend, and she is a middle school mate. We are also from the same village or town, and I was talking to her on WhatsApp this morning. She's from Ghana, and she said she began. I asked her what does she do now, because she used to do this security job. She said she stopped, and now she is selling second-hand clothes. In Ghana, fools, right? Fools. But she said, okay, I have very few I carry on my head. I walk around town, and I do make profit of 300 cities sometimes a week. 300 cities a week. Okay. But she said that's not enough to feed me and my daughter and my sister who lives with me. So I said, what would I make it more profitable if you sit at one place and sell? She said, no, it's what I sell is small. So if I'm sitting at one location, I'll still get the same profit. What would have been best would have been to get a loan and buy a whole pack. The pack is like a million. I mean, 6,000 Ghana city. Excuse me, viewer. Let me receive a call. I'm sorry, viewers. That was my son calling. So again, she said if she gets 6,000 Ghana cedis, I think when I checked it was 354 US dollars. Give me a minute, everybody. Let me quickly check this. So 6,000 Ghana cedis today will have been 6,000 Ghana cedis. 6,000. It's 385 US dollars, 76. They could call it 286 US dollars. So she could buy a whole pallet of the second-hand clothes. She said then she will get a profit. That's a higher profit margin, and she can use to pay. So I'm saying this to say that there are a lot of Ghanaians out there, women, mothers, who would take advantage of this NDC bank, women bank, and they can go there for a loan, depending on how the loan approval system will be. If everybody will be qualified, somebody like my friend here, Viola, would have gone there, grab a 6,000, buy this goose, sell it, make a profit, and pay back any monthly payment they have given her. This will help people grow, and it will help eliminate poverty on the ground. So, MPP, we want to see what policies you have for both women, children, in every sector of the economy, every sector of the country, so that we will know that, okay, this is what MPP is bringing if we vote for them again, okay, without an insult. I don't think any Ghanaian appreciate an insult and comparison of NDC to MPP. We want to know what you would do different. What are you doing different? We are tired of the comparison every minute. When you ask MPP a question, NDC could have done worse. And when NDC was in power, it was 8 years, they didn't do nothing. We don't need that comparison of where MPP are today and what we are talking about 8 years ago where NDC was. I mean, in business, 8 years is a long time. In economic development, 8 years is a long time. In education development, 8 years is a long progress. For you to say 8 years ago, if NDC was doing A, B, C, D, which we are not at fault for doing the same today. Let's be honest. let's be honest. In 2016, if the dollar was $1 to 4 Ghana cedis, things have changed. Things have changed. The dollar have changed. We can't really blame MPP completely. Things have changed. Okay, the dollar is one Ghana cedi to 16. You didn't do a lot better there. But the same way, you should not stay back and make comparison of, oh, we had done so 8 years ago, therefore we must have done so today because when NDC was in power, we had done so. No. It's 8 years. What have you done differently to change that? The same will apply today. If any government come in power, be it NDC or MPP, and they don't change anything from today, 8 years from today, we will still have power issues. We will still have cocoa issues. We will still have road deficiency issues. We will still have poverty rate going high in Ghana. We will still have our educational system declining, our debt structuring, our economic index growing higher or lower, and then good, which is a positive or negative. We will still have our health system not being able to meet the requirement for the 33 million Ghanaians today, which 8 years from today, it can be projected to be over 40 million people. We will still have our road system not being able to accommodate more cars. There will be more cars, more trucks in Ghana in the next 8 years. 8 years is even too long. In the next 5 years, what are we doing? Are we building bridges, to accommodate the growing population of Ghana, the growing financial stability for some people? Of course, some people are getting richer in these harsh economies. There will be more cars, more trucks, more service cars like vans. So the pressure on the roads need to be taught for today. So there will be a relief in 5 years to come and above. What are we doing? MPP, what are you going to do? NDC also, what are you going to do? So let's talk about what are we going to do as Ghanaians or as a government of Ghana, whoever you are and you are in power 5 years from today. NDC, we don't want to hear blame games no more. No. NDC, if you do come to power, which I think you may, there's a high chance. We don't want blame games of MPP didn't do that, so we cannot do it too. MPP, if you happen to come to power again, hallelujah. But I think there's a very minimal chance for you to win again. It's clear. MPP, you are losing the ground because a lot of people don't want to hear MPP being there, don't want MPP to lead in the next 4 years. I've been in Ghana last month. I know what I'm saying because people have said, I am an MPP. I voted for MPP 2016, 2020, and I will now vote for MPP. I will make that mistake again. So it's a smaller chance MPP will win this election again. That's just my thought. If you happen to win MPP, good luck. What will you do different? What are you going to do that even though people think things are hard, you will relieve this hardship by doing things different without blaming NDC? We don't want to hear blame game from both sides. I don't want to hear MPP blaming NDC. I know a lot of Ghanaians don't want to hear MPP blaming NDC. I know a lot of Ghanaians don't want to hear NDC blaming MPP. We don't want to hear. It is not our problem. The problem is, if there's a problem at hand, it's just like a father to his kid or a driver. If you're driving the car, there's a problem to the car. What do? If you cannot fix it, you call a mechanic. The mechanic will even want you to describe the problem. You describe that, okay, I think this is overheating. So the what? The mechanic know what tools and what maybe parts to bring to you wherever you are and fix your car for you. So we want solutions. We don't want to hear blame game. So in that case, we don't want where the mate blame the driver blame the mate. So when I overload the car, you overloaded the truck, and the driver is like, oh no, the mate is like, you were speeding, you were hitting all the bumps without slowing down. That's why all these blame games, it's not necessary. We are in 21st century. In 21st century, if you look at every country, they are looking for solutions for the next 10 years. Next 10 years. Dubai, they have been able to turn a desert into a mega city, not overnight, through what? Maybe 20, 30 years planning when you were sleeping. All right, maybe 20 years ago, this Dubai mega city was planned. Maybe 40 years ago. Go to Malaysia. Go to China. China is still having 100 years plan. 100 years. Whenever China Communist Party comes into like election and thing, they are planning 100 years of progress in every sector of their country. 100 years. America plans 100 years also. Go to Korea. Even the North, we don't have much for. South Korea plans 100 years, 10 years ahead. Taiwan, 10 years ahead. You can do the research and see. India, 10 years. You have to always be ahead of the game. You have to always plan 10 years from today. We would like to progress in educational sector so that maybe 10 years from today, all our classrooms in Ghana will have a smart board. Every classroom must have computers. 10 years from today, all teachers in Ghana must have a laptop, must know how to use a smart board, must have a place to stay, either closer to the school or if they're living far away. How do we provide teachers like motorbike or cars loans so they can buy cars and get to teach our students? Because teachers teaching our future leaders. 10-year plan. No excuses, no blame games, no drama. So the government takes the responsibility, allocate resources, and channel these resources step by step, step by step. 5 years down the line, we'll say, hey, let's take a break. Let's review. How far? What's our achievement so far towards our 10-year goal? Okay, we have done 80%. Out of the 80, it's not okay. Things are going okay. We've done 50%. The 50 is great. Let's keep on. And then 5 years down the line, you achieve your goal. So MPP, NDC, we are tired of playing games, be it NDC complaining about MPP didn't do A or MPP complaining NDC. We don't want to hear. If you're given the power, do your best. Try to fix some of the problems you can, leave those you can, but come out to the public and be honest and say, look, we can fix certain problems due to inefficiency of or lack of national resources. But the plan is, if the next government comes on, we will channel our effort, engineers, technicians, experts, so they can tackle this problem on for the good of Ghana, not for the good of the party. Okay, so let's stop the name calling, the blame game, and do the best for our people and develop our country so that at least we will be able to eliminate, if not eradicate, 90% of our people from poverty, from lack of education or access to education, lack of or as lack of or inadequate access to healthcare, roads, water, electricity. I mentioned food a while ago, and everything that citizens deserve from their leaders. Okay, thank you everyone who has been on this show, and I pray that my analysis today will be heard by politicians in Ghana and political enthusiasts, so that when you listen to this, you can use this as a what? As a what? Policy for the country and not an insult base. Thank you. Peace.
I know they fear devil, but I'm fully to me so saving him. So I will be home. Mishasi, sending to the Funti Media Mecaho, Ghana Hayana Magic, Tintim Rebecaho, Papa GP, MTV Swabecaho, after Yakokan Mintia, Seboso Mataho, and your bosom, I would also time a chair. But Madam TV, and I'm showing him. You may pass a catch living and I'm gonna free. But before my young water, and I won't call him when I want you to go down and Kawuni and Mia, and I can be Binia, I would not have it. He said, wouldn't have you worry me. But today, many about when this day, like I was for Nakada, would give me to pay. And so I didn't make a new baby. Say, I was a range, no one of them. Yet, if I be a no movie and what them, as watching or ever was a day, I will be.
Okay, peace. I'll see you all tomorrow again, same time tomorrow. We will talk about more issues in Ghana. Bye. Have a good night.